Greetings all and welcome back to Globbits Gaming Channel. Got another how-to video for you today. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I'm doing a series of how-to type descriptive video type things to help you as a World of Tanks player benefit from my experience. Now, I haven't got a great deal of experience, like I've said before, but what I have learnt, I always get these questions asked me quite a lot by people. How do I get better at World of Tanks? Well, what you need to do is you need to understand the mechanics of the game. So what you need to do now, if this is the first one of my how-to videos you've watched, you need to go and play the tutorial. If you haven't already, get yourself a couple of thousand battles. Alright, or maybe 500 battles or so. If you're completely new to World of Tanks, go and get yourself 500 battles done and come back and watch, because this isn't for you. What this is those guys that have had their first 500 to 1,000 battles and starting to get into, you know, your tier 6s, tier 7s, and they're starting to think, hang on a minute, why do I still keep getting my ass kicked? Why am I not doing so well? How can I improve my gameplay? Well, the idea of these videos is to try and help people. Now, if you are a Unicum or a above average player, you're probably just going to get a few little tips and tricks, maybe something, learn a little bit of something. It'll benefit everybody, hopefully. Now, the subject for today is hull down. All right, and what does hull down mean? What is it? What can I do to try and improve tanks that really work really well if they're hull down? Now, the reason I'm saying that you've got this T29 in front of you is this is, for me, the daddy of hull down. This is a tier 7 heavy tank, and it is the absolute master at hull down. If you can play this tank effectively in a hull down position, you will absolutely kick ass and take names. Well, what makes a hull down tank? Well, the first things first, the hull armour is usually weak. The turret armour is very, very strong. Some other examples of this, the T-34, which is another American tank. Other examples of good hull down vehicles, IS-3 is pretty good hull down. It's got a very strong turret. Pretty weak hull. One of the big advantages of a hull down tank, though, it needs to have what they call gun depression. Alright, now what I mean by gun depression is the ability to point your gun downwards. Alright, so all you do is you expose your turret and not your hull. And that's the general gist of what hull down actually means. The idea is you only show the enemy your turret. You do not show them the hull of your tank, hence the name hull down. What I'm going to show you now, I'm going to nip over to Tank Inspector and just show you why the T29 is so good at this particular mechanic. So here we have the American T29 in all of its Tank Inspector glory. What makes this tank so effective at being hull down? Well, in order for you to have a look at that, we need to go into the armor profile. So let's put it into context. Okay, the frontal hull armor of the T29, the lower glacis, even at best angled perfectly, will be around about 100 millimeters, including the area around the machine gun port here. This is a pretty nice weak spot. Even the frontal upper plate only has 102 millimeters of penetration, so the equivalent thickness of about 145 millimeters. Let's put this into context. This is a tier 7 vehicle. You can see tier 8, tier 9 tanks. The hull on this tank is very, very weak. The rear end of it is 60 millimeters. Yeah, it's very, very weak. 51 millimeters, 76. Even with the tracks, okay, it's going to be 100 mil. Alright, anything's going to go banging straight through it. The strength of this tank, as you can see here, is the turret. Alright, now, if you manage to hide this area of the T29, you are golden. Because, think about what's shooting at you. Let's say, for example, it's 100, I don't know, let's say it's a 120mm APCR shell, okay, that's got a reasonable amount of penetration. What have they got to contend with? Well, the first thing they've got to contend with is this big old gun mantlet here. Let's just have a look at it. It's got a big fat gun mantlet right here. So if they shoot you anywhere in the gun mantlet, they're going to need 279mm of penetration, 458mm of penetration, 538, 539. There are a couple of weak spots where there isn't any armour at all. However, generally, the spaced armour and the hull of the turret behind it is 178mm thick. Okay, this is problems for nearly every tier 7 gun. If not tier 8 guns. You know, tier 8 guns are going to struggle to go through this tank. And they're going to be shooting you from medium to short ranges, so they're not going to be able to aim for your specific weak spots. Okay, and this is why this tank works really well. So if you can manage to get your hull down away from the enemy vehicles so they can't see it, and all they've got the option of to shoot this thing, I mean, even if we search, we've got a 200mm spot right there. Just out of interest, guys, if you ever want to shoot a T29 in the turret, shoot this bit here or the commander's cupola. Alright, don't shoot the ears. Okay, shoot this little triangular part here or this area here, because these are the weak spots. Okay, there's 151 there, 146, Yeah, you can get some really small sorts, but if you're shooting at medium ranges, you're going to really struggle with this vehicle. A lot of other tanks are really good at this. The one I'm going to use in the video is going to be the T-32. Now, I sold my T-32 because when I first got it, I didn't actually enjoy the tank because the gun's a bit weedy. But this is the tank that we use in tank battles. If we need a heavy tank, we use this one in strongholds and team games. The simple reason is this one's even worse. This turret is basically impenetrable. It is near enough impenetrable when it's hull down. You have to get really lucky or hit the cupola. But even the cupola is 247mm. The cheeks of the turret, it's ridiculous. The upper hull, however, isn't that great. So this is a definite hull down monster of a tank. And that's what I mean by the term hull down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you in a training room against another tank of options of how you can actually get into hull down positions and areas of certain maps that you can actually work, and hopefully that'll help you guys out. So we're going to nip over to the team training room right now. Okay, so hull down position. Say hello, Chris.
Hello.
Waggle your turret. He's waving, guys. He's waving. Alright, this is probably worst case scenario when you're facing a T-32 or a hull down strong tank. Alright, all I can see, as you can see there, is Chris's upper turret. I can't see his hull, even though when I highlight him I can see the hull through the ground there, and there's no way with this gun. I'm currently driving the T-29 and he's driving the T-32. There's absolutely no way with this gun. I'll try and shoot where I think are his weak spots, but I don't think I'll have a chance even at the mantle. My reticle thing is saying I'm actually green, but there's absolutely no chance. I'll just try and aim for his commander's control. No, can't even penetrate that. Now, I'm not in too bad a spot either. Can you see my hull here, Chris, apart from the bit that's sticking out?
On your right side.
Yeah.
Maybe, if I'm lucky.
Yeah. Can you actually see any of my hull that you could penetrate?
Try.
Yeah.
There? Nope, that was rock.
That's a rock.
Most likely that I will hit your tracks.
Yeah, so you're just taking out the track. So I'm sort of side scraping and hull down as well. So that's, you don't necessarily have to be on the lee of a slope. And basically, if Chris decides to stay here as he is now, I don't stand a chance against him. I'm going to have to work out some way of getting around him. I mean, even if I fire, let me try and fire higher explosive at you. See if it actually penetrates or does some damage to you. It might damage your hull. Let's see. Yeah, I can do 46 damage, but let's be honest. I've only got 2 high explosive ammunition, so chances are it's not going to work. Even with, let me just fire a gold shell at you. What are my gold shells carrying? The gold shells have got 245 pen, so they could potentially go through your gun mantlet if I'm lucky. No, won't even go through your gun mantlet. So yeah, that is a live demonstration of hull down. What we're going to do now is we're going to go down to the Banana Road and we'll have a look at some of the positions down there. Right then, we've decided to switch tanks, or I've switched tank. Chris is still in the T-32, and as you can see there, he is nicely hull down. Can't see any of his hull whatsoever. He's even given us a little gun waggle again, as he does. Right, as we talked about in the prelim part of the video, the gun mount is very strong. I'm just going to take a couple of test shots at the cheeks. You can see I've already done that. Yep. This cannon has 258mm of penetration. It's easily designed to go through this kind of armour. However, with the angling of the side of the turret and the thickness of it, it's not going to do it. I'm going to show one shot of the cupola. This is probably going to go in. I think because that is a weak spot. Nope, it bounced off. See, it hit the roof of the turret there. And I'm actually going to shoot at the gun mantlet. Let's see how we get on. It's going to cost me a fortune, this is. Not a chance. Right, I'm going to switch to a heat round now. Now, the heat rounds in this tank have 340mm of pen. And I'm getting green markers on the side of the turret. So even they bounce due to the angling. Let's shoot the flat part of the gun mantlet. And that manages to go in. So I can force my way through the gun mantlet, which is something that I thought might happen. So basically what you do, in order to defeat a hull down tier 8 heavy tank, is you have to switch to gold ammo. Yeah, the gold ammo is going to go through every time. But this is a tier 10 tank, guys. So, you know, you can't expect that. And let's have a bit of a look-see. Try and finish you off with a cupola shot from normal ammunition. Yeah, there we go. There we have it. Okay, guys, I hope that's helped you. That's my basic definition of what hull down is, the hull down mechanic, and how to use it effectively. The Americans are king of this. There are lots of other tanks in the game that can work really well hull down, but that's the basics of how to actually do it, all right, and how it can hopefully improve your team play and your play with the American heavies and all the other hull down tanks. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.